Yo, 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 what's going on? Welcome back out to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel as per usual, but not per usual because usually Justin intros us, but I'm introing us today because we're going to be talking about everybody's second favorite Cleveland sports team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before we get into this one, make sure that you subscribe, totally free. Hit the like button, totally free. Hit the thumbs down button if you want. If you hate us, it's still helping our channel. And make sure you comment. Apparently, commenting is huge for the algorithm. Just say something. I don't care if you type, one letter, post, it's fine. Justin, how are we doing this evening, recording at night?
I'm doing good. Yeah, we're recording at night. Obviously, we have some, ideas floating around about what we're going to do with these Cavs podcasts and so videos, whatever you want to call them. So, today we're recording at night. The season starts tomorrow, and we're really gonna go off cuff with this one. So I'm excited. I know Jess got some questions for me, so hopefully you guys are ready for this.
Super off the cuff. Like we said in earlier videos, we're going to be incorporating new people on the channel, which we're a little bit slow. I've been a little bit slow on that front, but we're going to make it work. And that's okay. It's a work in process, work in progress. We've only had this channel not even a year. So it's good that the expansion starting sooner rather than later. But let me lay the scene. We were 22-50 last year. We were 13th in the Eastern Conference. This is all off rip. And it's not impossible to improve because I was looking at the year before, I think the 19-20 standings. The Atlanta Hawks were like 13th, and they were good. They were in the playoffs last year. They were in the finals, or the Eastern Conference finals, excuse me. But I'm going to throw it out there. Is a 500 record attainable? Two-part question. Is a 500 record attainable? Answer honestly. And two, will we be a 500 ball club? I'll give you plus or minus 2 games. If we're 2 games under, I'll chalk it up as a win.
It's a full season this year, right? Full season.
It's gotta be.
Listen, man. Is 500 attainable? With the lineup that I'm looking at and the players that we've got, I would really hope that it would possibly be attainable. However, obviously we still have our questions about certain players and the organization from top to bottom. But is it going to happen this year? Probably not, because I don't think we're going to have the right type of ball movement on the offensive side. I think defensively, we have a chance to be a very good team. But at the end of the day, you got to score a lot of points and able to, win a lot of games. And unfortunately, like I said, I think we got some really good players that could, break out, but I think there's a couple of key factors holding that back. So I'm gonna go with it's attainable, but I don't think the Cavs do it.
Okay, so I think you're hit the nail right on the head so far. I'm gonna totally agree. I think we're a little bit too young still to be 500, and I think we might have some bigger questions surrounding that. Now we're going rapid fire. We're gonna circle back, but I need yes or no's. Okay. Will Colin Sexton be an all-star this year?
No.
Will JB Bickerstaff be the coach at the end of the year?
At the end of the year, like, are you saying like after the season's done and over, or like, are you saying does he make it through the full season?
Does he make it through the full season?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say he makes it through the full season.
Does he make it through the full season plus like 4 weeks after?
No, I think he's out after 4 weeks.
How about Kobe Altman? Out after
Altman's
4 weeks? After
Altman's
4 weeks
gone.
after the season? Yeah.
Let's say a trade deadline, he's gone.
Let's see the trade. Yep.
If a certain, record is still, if we're like in the chase for the 8th seed or like the bubble spot, maybe not with him and Bickerstaff, but like if we're sitting at the bottom with, top 5 ambitions of picking again, he's gone.
Okay, so okay, so yeah, that's what I was going to hit there. I think that out of all the sports news of Cleveland this week, because I did a thread about this, we put it out on our Twitter. Make sure that you guys go, follow us over there. I'll throw screenshots, and it's always in the description. But the best news from Cleveland media 2 days into this week is that we didn't extend Colin Sexton, and all the bad news, which is relevant, is the Browns.
Yeah. I think the Colin Sexton thing is interesting because I always, for some reason, was under the assumption that if we didn't get him into the extension, he'd be an unrestricted free agent, which isn't the case. He's a restricted free agent,
Right.
which means like no matter what happens in terms of this offseason or how he plays this season, the Cavs get to match whatever offer he gets on the market. And for the Cavs, that's amazing because if he doesn't do well, then you can lowball him. Like other teams will probably lowball him. And if he somehow breaks out and the team's willing to go out there and pay for him, you still get the chance to sign him, but also you get to just like be able to evaluate the situation and what you have going on, draft picks, other free agents, and just like what your team looks like overall. So I think honestly, like it seemed like we were far more pressed about his situation, getting the extension done before the draft and everything than what I'm really kind of gathering right now.
Yeah, the NBA is interesting like that because I saw a tweet today. I don't even know who, but it said that there's only like 3 teams in the league that could offer him. Like apparently his camp was asking 100 mil guaranteed, and there's only like 3 or 4 teams with the luxury cap because the Cavs can't. If people are offering him 100 million, he's just going to walk, which I'm perfectly fine with at this rate because we're only $3 million underneath the salary cap. And we have so many people who aren't even on big contracts. We have one contract that's really, really bad, and it's Kevin Love. Here's a little side note. Did you know how much NBA rookies make?
Oh God.
Evan Mobley's making 8 mil this year.
Wow.
Or something crazy.
I think that's like what a number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL gets.
Right.
It's maybe that much amount or that much. And if that's like if you're like a quarterback too, it's pretty outrageous. But again, I guess it's kind of because with the MLB and the NFL, you get like 7+ rounds.
He's making 6.7, a little over exaggeration, but like Chetty Osman's making 8. So like,
yeah, well, we do have some contract issues in terms of how much we're paying certain players. So I know that's been a favorite topic of yours, especially with Kobe Altman. So
yeah, well, we know Rubio and Laurie Marketing are the second and third highest paid players on the roster, outside of Kevin Love. Is Kevin Love on the roster?
Wait a minute. No. They're the third and fourth. Wouldn't they? Jared Allen got extended.
Third and fourth. Yes, you're correct. Yeah. Jared Allen, 20 mil. But Rubio's like 17 and Marketing's like 15.
Yeah, Rubio's
looked good though. Some of the highlights I've seen, he looks like a better ball distributor than Sexton, but that's not that hard to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the lineup that we have outside of probably Sexton because as someone who watched a little bit of the preseason, I always think that Garland just looks a lot better than Sexton overall at the beginning of the season. And obviously he doesn't put up the stat number, and Jeff loves the stat numbers with Sexton, but it's just so apparent that Garland is going to be so much more beneficial to have the offense and the ball just run through him primarily because Evan Mobley and Jared Allen just succeed around him from what I've gathered. But yeah, I like the backups. Rubio's a good backup. I think Love looked good in the preseason as a backup. And Laurie looked, halfway decent. So we'll see. Obviously a lot of moving pieces, but I think it's a pretty decent, 8-player rotation there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the bulkier issue is that JB Bickerstaff has to manage this complex lineup, and that's going to be hard. It'd probably be hard for even the most seasoned veterans. I think that having one small forward listed as a small forward on the roster, Chetty Osman, everyone else in between, kind of being awkward and having 7-footers and 6'11ers come off your bench. But so does Kevin Love? Do we trade Kevin Love or does he make it the full year? Or
it's just not possible.
Is he hurt?
How many times have we talked about trying to trade Kevin Love? At this point, I know we've seen the news today.
Ben Simmons.
If you haven't been on NBA Twitter, Ben Simmons apparently just like absolutely trying to blow things up in Philadelphia right now. And someone put the trade out there of Colin Sexton, Kevin Love, and 2 of our first-round picks, which, if we get Ben Simmons, I'd hope we wouldn't need those picks. But getting rid of Kevin Love and, getting rid of Colin would probably be a huge time, get for the Cavs in terms of that deal. But it's just impossible to trade Kevin Love. And
So hard.
he wants his money. He's not going to do the buyout, and he's not going to do the, I mean, if you cut him, but you're just going to have to pay him. So yeah, it's just so impossible with him. And I can't believe how much of a villain he's turned into. Because
super villain,
dude, it's just, I can't believe it. Like,
Embiid hates him.
Really? Oh,
Embiid.
you're talking about Ben Simmons?
Oh yeah, who are you talking about?
I was talking about Kevin Love.
I can't.
No one wants the man.
I'm thinking about Ben Simmons.
Dude, no one wants Kevin Love.
Nobody wants his contract.
Yeah, and the dude straight out came and said, he's like, I don't want to do the buyout. I want my money, essentially. And he's just gone from like being, he had that one season after LeBron and Kyrie left, or, he had his oh God, I'm like losing it. His message about like his mental stability and everything, and how people should, talk about more. And everyone's like, oh yeah, he's such a good guy and blah, blah, blah. But then he turns around and like last year he had his moment of like throwing a hissy fit. And now he's just like, outright refusing to do a buyout for the betterment of this team and all this stuff. So, you hope that he embraces the backup role, but he's just turned into such a villain. I don't think there's a lot of people. I'd say a good majority of the fan base is not very happy with Kevin Love right now.
I would agree, but I think that the volatility of this roster, it's tough to set expectations for this team. It really is. I think this is a good intro video, but I have two more. I have a fun one and then a cool question left. So for those of you who don't know, and this is going to be a tough one for Justin because this is tough. This is tough, but I have an answer because I've thought about it. So it's a little unfair. For those of you who don't know, our slogan this year is let them know. LET''EM no. And it's on the court. It's not like, oh, we're just going to tweet about this. It's on the court. So that's kind of 3 words. Justin, if you had a reaction in 3 words to the Cavs slogan this year being let them know, what would those 3 words be?
Your tweet about it was so funny. You gotta throw that tweet up there for them. Right 3 words for let them know. Oh God, I honestly don't know. It's like, oh God, I don't know. I feel like it has to be like based around Colin Sexton for some reason. I don't know why I can't get around the fact it's like let him know is like why? I mean,
you only need 1 word.
What are we letting them know? What are we letting them know about? I don't know. I can't.
My 3 words are. This is why I asked you this, because I literally looked at it and I said, "That's really bad."
I'm just gonna go with I don't know. I don't know what we're letting them know about.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That's gold. I don't know. Let them know, but we don't know. It's like we're coming off a finals run or something. Right. Who greenlit that?
I don't know.
Marketing team needs turnover. They need to bring us in there.
Top to bottom, this, we traded, we did a 2 or a 3-way trade between the Cavs, the Guardians / Indians, and the Browns. The Browns became competent teams, or became a competent organization, and the rest of them just falling apart.
Super true. But here we go to finish it off. If I gave you, I don't even know how much jerseys go for these days, but if I gave you $200 for the team store, whose jersey would you buy on this roster?
I think I go Garland. I really want like a Garland jersey. The thing with me and NBA jerseys is I used to be a huge like NBA jersey guy. Kobe Bryant's 8 jersey was always one of like the coolest jerseys that I thought was out there on the market. And then 8's like my favorite number. That's why I say that. Outside of that, like everyone else has kind of like weird numbers. Colin Sexton's unbuyable because he'll always be in the shadow of Kyrie Irving. Okoro wears 35, which is like, I think of Kevin Durant. And I'll, Isaac Okoro reminds me nothing of Kevin Durant. Mobley's probably number 2 on that list just because, you know, he has the most potential to be the best player on the team right now. But I go Garland. I just have high expectations for him. I like how he plays. He plays like a true point guard. He almost reminds me of CP3 if he was just, you know, he's not as good as CP3, but he, you know, has the purity of a point guard. And it's just something I haven't seen in a while. You know, you got Steph Curry's and Russell Westbrook's and just like a plethora of guys who don't really play that point guard position as, you know, in the days of old. So,
yeah, I'd probably go reverse, honestly. I'd probably say Mobley 1 and Garland 2. I think those are my top 2 favorite players. Well, maybe Jared Allen's up there too, but I don't know. Our jerseys are they've been better.
Our city jerseys last year were doo-doo.
So bad.
The jerseys with the like, I think it was like the Goodyear jerseys. I think those were kind of decent. Like those were kind of good, but the black, white, and like red ones that we've had since Kyrie left haven't been the best.
Right.
So I you know, the orange ones were always really cool. Hopefully we'll get cool city jerseys for once, but when you're a poverty team like we are the past couple of years, you don't really get like people who want to style them in the best of ways. So
right. Yeah. So anything else?
I want to ask you a question.
Okay, go on.
You asked me if Colin Sexton is going to be a all-star this season. Is there anyone on this team? You know, let's not even go that way. There's no one that's going to be an all-star. But I'll take a player. Evan Mobley. Is he going to be a first team, and is he going to be a potential rookie of the year candidate?
Oh yeah.
Where do you think he ends up ranking in there? He's got a good chance being a big man who's shown really good defensive play. I would say like top 3 just because his numbers should be disgusting. If he plays minutes though, if his minutes are getting eaten into by Love and Markkanen, you might as well scrap it. But he might average like a double with like three blocks and like maybe a couple steals, honestly, because he is I definitely did not know how good he was defensively. I knew that was a good part of his game, but he's looked really good defensively so far, almost better than he is on like the offensive side at points. He's very confident with shooting the 3 ball, which I know we talked about it, but I didn't really see a lot of it until he, you know, started playing some games, which, you know, he hasn't knocked down the shots consistently, but the fact that he's, you know, confident in it gives me hope that eventually it'll happen this season. But what about Okoro? We just haven't talked about Okoro at all. Like, what are our thoughts on him?
I was going to ask you who's going to have a bigger jump this year, Garland to this year or Okoro to this year, but Garland didn't play a whole lot last year. I don't know. Okoro's like ceiling just seems so low. Like he's going to have to shoot like very well from the field to even be an asset on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't see him touching. He just shouldn't be touching the ball at all. I think Garland and between Garland, Sexton, and Mobley and Allen, I just don't see where Chet. It's not just a him problem either. It's like I don't see Chetty getting the touches really. I don't see Dean Wade touching the ball that much, or Dylan Windler, whoever's going to play that like graduated 3 role, because I mean he's 6'5", but it's not an offensive threat at all.
No, and that's a problem with our offense in general. Like, no, again, I think when we were doing Cavs videos this off season, a lot of my videos were just like, straight up, we don't have a shooter at all. None of these guys shoot the 3 ball well enough to be like, all right, let Sexton hold the ball and dish it out, because Garland's going to be a 3-point sharpshooter. It's just not the case. And that was my point with, like, you know, Mobley and Allen. Like, they could have huge seasons if Garland just like always taking control of the offense and everything. But with Sexton, like, it's going to be so hit or miss on what those two end up doing for their seasons. So,
yeah, I totally agree. But I think that this is the hopes is that they're good for the Cavs standards, and we could cover them more often. We're going to cover them more often just because, like we said, we're going to be getting a little bit of help, because even thinking about this week has been very difficult, because you got the Cavs tomorrow, Browns Thursday night. It's like there's
Yeah.
2 of us and we've needed 2 more of us. So it's going to be good. It's
Absolutely.
going to be awesome. Anything else? Are you excited for the season?
I'm excited. Tip off tomorrow against the Grizzlies at Grizzlies. So probably not going to get to the best start, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, never know. We had a pretty good start last year and things fell apart. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of things going on in Cleveland now. So hopefully both our Brownies and the Cavs can pick it up this season.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you've stuck with us this long through this video, that means you really like the Cavs and you might really like us. So we appreciate it. But make sure that you ring that bell notification and come back to all of our recurring videos that we're going to be uploading. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.